Right, Josh, you're live, bud.
Thanks so much for coming, folks. Yeah, there's, I think, a resounding 6 people here, so anybody that may be watching this online, it might not be very funny, but there may also not be enough people to laugh. So this is what I get for trying to imitate a handful of friends, but I couldn't be happier. I'll tell a quick story before I get started. Many years ago, if any comics are watching this, the legendary Gary Farmer that used to run the Gus's room, he put me on playing, and there was no audience. And so the jokes got no response, and he put it online, tagged me, and it was like nobody laughing. So that might be what I'm in for tonight, but at least there's more to hear than Gary Farmer's show. God bless him, folks, because somebody's got to. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and always the shill that I am. Those of you that are watching online, please send suggested donation $10 to nightowls@gmail.com. And hey, if you want to send more, that's great too. We got to put our kids through college. Nobody believes me and Jackson are having kids on us. Ooh, yeah. You know what really grinds my gears? Child-proof locks. They drive me crazy. Can't open shit with my CP coordination, right? How crazy they drive me? I don't get them pills. I don't get to sleep. I don't get to sleep. I might start seeing demons and hearing voices again. Might wind up in the mental hospital. That's pretty fucking crazy, isn't it? Yeah. You know the only thing should be child-proof locked in my case? Candy and liquor. Yeah, because I don't want to get diabetes or regret telling someone how I really feel about it. Hey, hey, you buddy, you smell like your parents never loved you. The liquor prop helped that one, didn't it? Speaking of love, just recently out of a 2-year relationship. Love my life at this point, very hard. But you know what, folks? There is always a silver lining. Always. Just the other day, this hoople head approached me at the cafe. He's a guy, hadn't seen him for a long while, didn't recognize him at first, didn't know who he was. Let me tell you a little bit about him. Well, he's the kind of guy that, like, spells his name with the number 8, a backwards P, and, like, 3 other consonants after that. Look, buddy, if you can't pronounce your name, what possible fucking chance do I have? So, 8 got all aggressive with me, like kind of an asshole, but like a little bit more unstable, you know? He's like, hey, you're that comedian. You're that comedian. Tell me a joke. So I said, okay, I held a mirror right up in front of him. First time the P in his name tag ever faced the right direction in his life. I'm just joshing folks. You know what the truth was? I told him straight up. It was like, look, man, I'm really sorry. I've been through a breakup. I don't really feel like talking right now. And the whole vibe changed, man. The whole vibe changed. You know, he's like, oh, sorry, man. Good luck. So that's the silver lining. Look, man, it don't matter if I'm like 100 years old, married with like great grandchildren. The next time some aggressive weirdo approaches me, I'm gonna be like, oh, sorry, Sonny. Just been through a breakup. Don't feel like talking. Best run along now. Wouldn't want to see an old man cry, would you? No weirdo will ever bother me again. Uh, yeah, this is the part that you lucky 6 people are just going to get yourselves. I have to go dark for a moment. We can get this first little part on here, but many of you know, you've seen me around. I flip coins and stuff. I've never done this on stage, but I'm about to now. Let's see what comes up here. This will determine the direction of the show. Would you believe that's a 2-headed coin and I threw a fucking tails? And child-proof locks really are making me go crazy. Folks, we gotta cut this now. I gotta tell you about some real bad school experiences. Mute my microphone for the. Yeah, okay, so we're back. Gonna get into a little politics. Um, y'all aware that Facebook bans posting about legitimate news, right? Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know how you feel about that, but let me put it this way, right? Here's how it is. Like, I can post a status saying the moon is made of cheese, but I can't post a legitimate news article telling you what the moon is really made of. Sounds like a wonderful way to spread truth and information, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, even fucking Trudeau. He, I read an article where he, not on Facebook obviously, where he was telling them, like, hey, we gotta get this news back, man. Gotta get this news back. Yeah, these wildfires are under control. And I can just see some poor sap, right? Because, you know, nowadays, we're all more likely to check our Facebook before we're looking out the window, right? Poor guys, like, oh my God, I'm on fire. Too bad I got distracted on Facebook. If only someone had warned me. Remember, folks, stop, drop, and roll. Poor guy. Yeah, man. Put the news back in Facebook and maybe take out the lies and hate, okay? Speaking of news, I can't believe I read this, again, not on Facebook, the fucking BBC News website. This was something that pondered if Trump getting convicted would actually help his election. Whose fucking vote does that get? The prison vote? Guess what? I looked this shit up. Most prisoners can't vote. Yeah. In the U.S., only people with non-felony, that means a year or less convictions, can actually fucking vote, right? And, like, can you really see, like, some punk rock kid who got, like, 6 weeks for graffiti getting out, start tagging buildings, like, Trump 2024, that's my president. No, you're not going to see that, right? I don't, like, look, I know he riled up a lot, and I mean a lot, the crackers last time, right? But I don't think the average prisoner can relate to Trump, right? Because, like, let's face it, like, jails are populated primarily by minorities and poor folks, right? Most of whom who would not be there had they had better choices, you know. None of whom would be there if they inherited billions of dollars and could hire high-priced lawyers to get them off the shit they did, right? The only folks that I could see that could relate to Trump other rich folks who've been getting away with real bad shit for way too fucking long. So, whose vote does that get? Fucking bankers and Bill Cosby? Sure hope that ain't enough to elect the president this time. Oh, Doug, you know, that one. Trump supporter over there. Yeah, I'm on this political vein still, so I'm going to stick on my political beliefs. I got a call from this telemarketer a few weeks back, right? I want to preface this, like, I know she has to fucking say this shit, right? It's her job. She's reading the script, so it's not her fault, really. But she said, hey, can you believe you're the first person I've talked to in 20 whole minutes? So I said, yes, I can believe that shit. You're a telemarketer. I can't believe it hasn't been a whole lot longer. I'm going to do my best to keep your streak alive. Click. But of course, you know, that whole terrible, annoying equation, it's not the poor telemarketer's fault, right? She's got to do a job. She's got to eat, you know. And this is what I keep coming back to, my own thoughts, man. If we only had a guaranteed basic income, I think we'd get rid of telemarketers forever. Forever. The only reason we don't have it is because the super rich wouldn't be able to con people into being fucking telemarketers. I think my mic is out. But that's okay, I can still yell. And look, I don't know if this is going to work out or not, but I've come up with this slogan. Because I think even the super rich probably doesn't like being bothered on the phone, right? So, and you know, I don't have no corporate think tank behind me. I'm not a sloganeer, right? But I think if you started passing this around all the country clubs and secret societies all over the world, probably rid the world of telemarketers forever. Enough for all, no one wanted phone calls. Except from the people you already know, of course. I haven't figured out a socioeconomic policy to get rid of calls from those pesky friends and family just yet. I'm working on it, though, folks. You will never be bothered again. Oh, just a smattering of laughs, but I must continue. Yeah, I know, shut up, dog. Um, I'm sure most of you are all familiar. The legendary Bob Barker died. He was a bit of a controversial figure, you know, but he was a hell of a game show. It was so smooth, never missed a beat, always on the zone, right? You know, always on the minute. But his closing line always troubled me very deeply. Remember, folks, to help control the pet population, have your pet spayed or neutered. Yeah, like that's a good idea in general, right? But what happens if you apply the control? Was Bob Barker like a great animal rights activist, or was he secretly some animal Nazi trying to live with them forever? We will never know. Come on down to the glue factory, I guess. I'm going to close out this resounding stand-up with one final little story. I think that's all my stand-up. No, the Zambuca's starting to kick in, so at least I'm feeling good. I was lazy to write this bit because this happened many years ago. I just wrote it about like 2 weeks ago, so here you are. Many years ago, this friend of mine told me she had a sex dream about me. And I said, well, maybe that's your subconscious, and it would be a good idea. And she was like, no, I wouldn't want to actually do it. And I was like, what the fuck, was dream a nightmare? Oh no, right? And like, look, I'm not saying because she had a dream about it, she's obligated, right? But here's the thing, let me put it this way. Let's say I went to Disney, right? I got some ice cream along the way, right? I didn't get you none, and when I got to your house, I ate the ice cream right in front of you. See, now, I'm the kind of guy, like, I had my ice cream gone before you ever saw me. Yeah, see, I'm not saying I'm a considerate person. I'm just saying I have decency not to let you know how inconsiderate I truly am. Yeah, and I told an elderly guy about this shit, right? And he was like, oh, whoa, you should be tickled. And I was like, tickled, man. She never even touched me. What are you talking about? Well, listen, Josh. I ain't been with a woman since 1953. Diggity, diggity was the best thing you could hope for in them days. Meant you got to see a little side boob. Now, now, nothing works, nothing works, and yet simultaneously, I can't hear a word, yet everything is too loud. But only if a lady would dream of making nuptials with me, I could die happy. Oh man, I'm 40 years old. Is this what I have to look forward to now? Fuck me. Ah, look man, my case, everything works great, right? I can hear better than fucking normal. Look, I want to make a few of those dreams come true before it's too late. And that is the end of probably the worst fucking stand-up I've ever done. People, there's 6 people in the crowd here. They never heard the shit before. It's not as hard to do the poetry though. So still send him, but fuck, send $27. You can feel bad for me. So, thank you. See, that is perfect. How about a big hand to this? Where'd my drinks go? Yeah, stuff here. 1 second before I start these.
That's how it's going on about to say that.
Yeah, man. Fucking Trump support. Straight new to that fucking guy. Well, something very in the German studies or something. Anyway, I'm gonna try to be serious. So, I referenced it briefly in the last thing. This is a poem simply called 40 because it's what we turned 40. It was written about 10 days before that. I was still in a relationship, so I wrote that with that in mind. And I didn't want to change that with that in mind. And I didn't want to change the poem because there was three going up all the time, and for the most part, it's still gender free. So this is the line free. So without any further ado, here is 40. Well, shit, I made it. Youth is over. I just passed the number many people claim to be for the rest of their lives. But I suppose youth is a relative thing. I would bet that 75 sounds vigorous and nimble to a 90-year-old. 65, with retirement and grandchildren, sounds like the end of the road to a kid in college and a dog break. Even the 30s can sound a bit worn out if your grade 6 teacher is unkind and doesn't want to be there. It's all about where you are, and to me, it feels very much like halfway, if I'm to be lucky. Luck and I have never quite been in sync until very recently. It wasn't like I had the worst life ever, but its good moments were often eclipsed by the bad. At 20, I would have probably, for fuck's sake, getting beat with the poem. At 20, I would have prognosticated 40 to be very much the same, but twice as old, so probably twice as bad. I'd moved into the 12th floor of my building, and one of my best friend's first words at my housewarming were, "Don't jump off your balcony." I was very close very often, but I don't have hidden wings, and you're hearing me reflect, so I must have somehow avoided coming into my view. If I could send a message to my 20-year-old self, it would be to hold on tight. Some bad times are ahead, but there will be some good ones too. You won't know lasting happiness until you're almost 38, but trust me, it'll be worth the wait. And for the love of God, do some traveling before 2006, because peeing will go very wrong, and you'll have a hell of a time being out. I've managed Toronto once, Montreal twice, but I would have gone further and explored those metropolises more fully had I not been so restricted. I would probably give my young self my current prescription, because with the proper sleep the last 4 years, I have been able to do my best work. It would not have been spectacular 20 years ago, but with the right rest, it would have gotten better sooner, and my portfolio would be more impressive now. But if luck and I continue to get along the next while, and I really am only about halfway, then I should have plenty of time to produce and perfect a portfolio I can be proud of. Only time will tell, so I must continue to do my best. Starting with the onward to the future, I say, with gusto and more confidence than I've ever had. Sure, I regret a bit, but I can't change what's transpired, so it's best to leave those missteps behind me and press ahead. My refurnishing project is nearly complete. After 9 long years, when I last complained to clothes, I was 3 pieces shy of bolstering my bachelor's hat. Now, I am only short of a perfect dining set and a ton of trash to terminate. I will be much better able to appreciate my finer things than the awful ones that are in my space. I will always be an obsessive collector. I do not necessarily want my collections to grow larger. I need them to be more perfect, so if it is not good enough, it needs to disappear. But enough about the show. I have more to tell. As I type, I am just 10 days shy of the milestone, and I feel right in the swing of things. With doing these shows, I am so grateful to all of you for coming and allowing me to continue the dream that began 17 years ago. I moved away from strangers, from limited stage time, and soul-crushing open mics where even if you do a fantastic job, no path to success is open. Even a professional set at Yuck Yucks is not a huge help, because I am not running on this network. I want to be both funny and serious. Serious works out together the same night. And because so many of the same people are kind enough to humor me, I must come up with new things to say. This is incredibly difficult, and even though I explore some of the same themes, it is a challenge I gladly welcome, because it keeps me fresh and pushes me to the limit of my ability. I can't really find the words to express how much more satisfying it is to do 45 new minutes for the same people than it is to do the same 10 minutes for different people. Thanks, Marty. Marty likes this. So as long as you can stand it, I'll keep telling the truth as long as I'm able. That film I made, the one where I had so much help, where I lost my mind and nearly my life, is in the 7th or 8th inning. The past 2 years have been all about marketing. With the great Lieutenant Sexian on board, we've been able to comb the colleges of Canada and continue to do so. It gives me great pleasure to get paid by institutions where so many good people approve such unfortunate debt. And even if we don't make that much, it gives me tremendous hope that things might actually improve for the romantic life of someone like me, with an audience of people in their late teens and 20s. Is it too bold for me to hope that that particular future could be brighter? If my hopes could extend just a bit further, the end of the rainbow and the pot of gold occur simultaneously if our hearts aren't the same as on TV, and the truth of its struggle reaches a great many people all over the world. This is a bit changed, this next stanza, but anyway, I'm proud to report that I'm still in my happiest time. Even though my relationship has become a regular part of daily life and is very familiar, I do not take it for granted. It has been the best one of my life. I feel so fortunate to have reciprocity in love and care, and I hope you feel the same. The comfort I receive is second to none, and I have achieved a peace of mind I never knew possible. I hope this continues under a many artistic career. I hope I can see a bit more of the world with what determination to see this through. If this is the second half of my life, the last, I hope I'm able to live it well, to help others when I can, and especially to have no regrets. I'm still committed to speaking up if I'm wrong. If I've wronged you, then I'm sorry. From this grizzled old 40-year-old to the rest of you, I say go for it, goddammit. Live the life you want to live, even if the results don't come your way. You can't force the wicked to recognize your merit. And please, try to have a good time, because it'll all be over before you know it. That's 40. I'm going to just take a quick drink of booze before I start the next one. You might all be thinking about this next piece. One great things about humanity in this great world. Wait a minute. The you smell. Oh, I already did that part. Properly. Okay, so I am not the right person to be talking about this, but I also thought that it was good that I did talk about it. Because as kind of like a lay person, I'm not a climate expert, but clearly we're all seeing this, right? Every day in our weather is different fucking disaster, in a different place of the world. So it's getting pretty serious. Um, but at the same time, and I don't know if this is just blind optimism, but I'm hopeful that if we like start getting it right and stop our polluting, that we can actually get things back to health before we know it. Back to like sensible living. But I mean, I'm not an expert. But anyway, this is my thoughts on our climate crisis, I guess, and I call it burning and flooding. Can't take the heat? Don't sweat it. You'll soon be underwater. I sure hope you can swim. We've been warned for decades and felt it in our weather for nearly as long. Everything they told us is happening before our bewildered eyes. Well then, let's shake the shock if we want to stay alive. Our natural lives might not occur, and our children may never know adulthood. I'd say it ain't too late, but time has expired for far too many. I hope the tide can turn, for everyone is clinging on to breathe toxic water. I don't know just what to do. I'm no climatologist. I can only track my carbon footprint so far. My body doesn't work right. My illness has been in a flare for the last few weeks. Just like our planet, my own ability to keep water has been compromised everything. We can't force the rulers. They have the weapons. Even the most virulent crusader loses to a nuclear bomb. We all lose to a nuclear bomb. So we're going to have to talk them into it. Any and all measures to achieve symbiosis with the planet as fast as humanly possible. If we can work that diligently on an ineffective vaccine, surely our best and brightest can execute the measures to alleviate a crisis we've known about for decades. This trumps any and all partisanship. Even if that Cheeto-faced criminal somehow cons his way into control again, we gotta make him listen. Everyone from the Taliban to the Dalai Lama must take heed. Our cries for change must especially be showed to the waxy ears of the super rich. Billionaire Billy, it rests with you and your ilk, so I think it's time for a full-body Q-tip to expunge all the crud and greed faces. You cats rule the world. If you won't do your part to save it, it is time to relinquish your crown and hand the reins to whichever eco-messiahs are up to the task. What if it's too late? If we've reached the point of no return? I say, how can we possibly know until the last of us has drawn our final breath? Let's go down swinging with everything we've got, so we can leave the world with a peace of mind and we did everything we could. In case it is all over, tell everyone you love that you love them. Be as kind as you can to whomever you may meet. You may have no idea what they might be going through. I urge you to do whatever makes you most happy, so long as it doesn't hurt anyone. Let's spend our last days getting along instead of going to war. And you know what? Despite my lack of expertise, I have a strange notion Mother Nature is stronger than we think. With respect to those who've already fallen, I don't think this is the final hurt for the rest of us just yet. I've read cases of wildlife returning after nuclear disasters incredibly soon than expected. In the absence of human pollution, nature thrives. So let's cut it out, okay? Then, humans and the rest of the world can commingle and breathe happily ever after. That's hopeful, right? Maybe there's a chance. I don't know. I'll have a quick drink, right? Yeah, so it doesn't like interrupt the flow. There's two more poems to go. Oh, I like what I learned with this next piece. Hopefully you will too. I've always had a hard time like fitting in, you know. And as I've gotten older, I don't really want to fit in. I'm very happy being a unique individual, and I wish um, there were more people who are unique individuals. I think there are, but I think like what often happens is that there's just so much pressure to fit in that like all kinds of individuality and difference are often like suppressed to be part of the group, and I think this is very bad. But then again, at the same time, right, if we're all being individuals and not like get like, functioning as a group, like how do we help each other and how do we even communicate? So this piece attempts to answer that problem and it's called Don't Be Afraid to Be Yourself. For a very long time, I have believed that fitting in was a great deal more harm than good. If you were raised in the Ku Klux Klan, then abandon your prejudices to fit in with the new feminist drums. You are no doubt better off. But if you hadn't been brainwashed by the former, there may be no need to be saved by the latter. Settle down, baby, it's not that bad. I've yet to see someone don the white sheets of hate all by themselves to get comrades. In the course of everyday interactions in the Western world, most occasions of joining the herd are not so god-awful as that. But I have seen far too many examples where functioning as a group suppresses the creative spirit and destroys all debate or difference. But my group is countercultural, a local activist pleads to me. We hate capitalism, don't eat meat. Okay, you're up to some good, but I'm terribly sorry. I need a fair amount of food or I feel weak and sick. It is the only food that gives me any noticeable good feeling. Right, Sexy?
Yeah.
Would you rather I waste away? I don't have the funds to make sure my beef was ethically raised. And hey, pal, I'm no fan of greed. I think we all must strive to keep our material desires in check, lest they eat us from inside and take food from the mouths and bodies. But this is some people like I met them 20 years ago. If you and the rest of your clique make different zines with the same message that no one can play apart, I don't see the point. If it makes you happy, don't stop on my account. But if to oppose the status quo, you must do so under an incredibly strict set of rules, then you may be safer with the status quo. You might be less conformist to eat donuts and watch the hockey game. You won't be judged severely for your choice of theme and flavor. And that is a very sad reality. I say, show me a true individual, and I would be glad to meet them. Get a little dark for a second here. Serial killers are individuals. I've heard cases. Hopefully not as true as the serial killers, but I've heard cases of them teaming up, but they usually work alone and spend their lives avoiding solved. I hope I never come across them, even before I come. I would much rather not think their opinions. I have no burning desire to learn what makes them tick, and even as I am speaking, I feel ill at ease thinking about them. Whether by evil or by malfunction, they are aberrations, and yet, still, like all human beings, deserving of God's love. But as a species, we must do our damnedest to prevent them from fulfilling their fantasies. My idea of a well-meaning individual is the furthest thing from a monster. They have respect and love for others, and if divergence between self and another is such to prevent pleasant companionship, then interaction should be avoided without intent to malice, and with the best wishes for the other's happiness. A well-formed individual is nicely rounded but knows their limits. No renaissancely specialized, but not with ambitions to infinity. Jack of many trades, master of a few, and none of the more extreme iterations of that sentiment. I would make a poor mathematician or visual artist, but I will do my best. If my material command is communication, perfect my pen and my performance. I've learned my capability and my limits. If I continue to work, I will continue to improve, but I must stay away from subjects completely beyond my grasp, or I risk stagnation, not getting better where I'm able. I'm not so egomaniacal that I believe I'm the only true individual the world over. I think there are a great many folks who don't remind anyone of anyone. And each person as it is at least slightly different from the next. But we are taught to shove down those discrepancies and emphasize our sameness to a sickening level of boredom. If I'm in a place where everyone is acting the same, I want to leave, even if I am inclined to agree with what they're up to. But that is quite rare. Usually when in a group, I'm inclined to disagree in silence and leave as quickly as I can, so that I can celebrate my peculiarity in private with both hands, and feel my and not feel my audience in such painful contradistinction. But what am I really saying? Surely if everyone is so blatantly distinct from everyone else, how can we function? How can we get along and help one another? I must admit I haven't got the full answer. If we are all speaking in completely different language, then maybe no one understands anyone else. But even Jesus, who is accused of being concerned with everybody, was often stepping away from the group to spend whatever time he could in peaceful contemplation. All of us have hopes and dreams, and disappointments and regrets, and deeply suffered pain. For many, some of the particulars may be exactly the same. My ideal Renaissance individual does not exist in a vacuum. They are and of the world around them. But if they have reached their potential, they have been able to synthesize the beautiful cacophony of experience and make them their own. If you have been so fortunate to exist somewhere along the lines of your potential, the greatest gift you can give is to help another gain access to theirs. You cannot do it for them, but you can be an example and lend a hand when it's needed. So please, don't be afraid to be yourself. Stop hitting in. I got one more. One more to go, and then we want more drink break. I'll start with the liquid first if you want. That's the smartest thing to do. That's why I took that in the last play. The last one's not too long, so we all finish the game. And if you have regrets about this stuff, I'll let you see it. Boy, that's good. It's gonna be a little bit boring, but I don't know. I could start some fetishes like watching the drink stuff, right? And they send me like $200, but then I'd have to like drink stuff for the next like 2 days straight or something. It's like taking a class and I'm crazy because of it. You gotta play your crowd, folks, and I've gotta open my binder. It's funny because I put these in with poems that were from like 4 years ago. So I don't want to read those. Okay, here we are. So as I've mentioned briefly, and all of you here know, because you're my close intimate friends and family, that I went through that breakup recently. And like all things considered, I'm pretty okay. And during that time, I had a little miracle happen, and I'll address it in poem. But this it starts a little dark, but the ultimate message about this is hope, and I think we can find it in like really small things sometimes. So the piece I'd like to close with is called Small Miracles. This is an ode to all those wonderful things that shouldn't happen if we stop at science. Pre-industrial people went much further. but I would like to leave their prejudices in the past. It's one thing to believe, but quite another to burn someone alive through fear of their supposed power. But enough of that terror. This is a happy piece. The greatest of all miracles, both small and large, is the power of love. It persists in our world in spite of all the pain. It moves us to forgiveness and imbues all our good deeds with the spirit of health and friendship. Just look at all those strange and beautiful supposed coincidences. Why is it when you haven't thought of someone in a long while, and you suddenly do, that you will see or hear from them in the almost immediate future? I don't believe you conjured them up, or that you are psychic exactly. Though I will acquiesce, certain folks are psychic exactly. It's that their presence was so near, you couldn't help but feel it. This happens to me often, that little touch of precognition will take shape, and I will see images during meditation that will appear on TV a few minutes later. This is not terribly important, but it's cool that I saw them a bit early. There have been some larger miracles within my own family. I did not experience them, so I will not dispute them. You may find them hard to believe, but I'll bet they did. On the way, this is for Double O first here. On the way home from midnight mass, Double O should have died. It should have been a fatal car wreck that ran right through him, but instead, he was spared impact, and the car lost physical form as it went through his body. Marky had aliens, that's not the Kinski here, that's my stepdad man, had aliens camp on his roof every night for a long while. Communication and time was brilliant, but the aliens did them noticeable harm. Tonto saw the spirit of her father, the great Spropolis Augustus, shortly before he passed. He was asleep, but rather than miss a visit, his spirit stopped by in full form to say a quick word, and walked away, making a final goodbye. My own recent miracle is not so grandiose as all those. My poor soul had a 2-year detente with loneliness. Love I had long desired was finally at hand, only to end abruptly the day after we both turned 40. No warning and a slight explanation, it was fully past. I kept my scheduled family party 2 days later. The gathering of love was juxtaposed against tears of sorrow and screams of agony. My difficult times in the bathroom took even longer than usual. When home, my misery nearly sunk back down into suicidality. But as I wrung my hands in torment, I heard a steady ticking. I thought maybe I was entering into another psychosis, but instead the ticking was real. It belonged to a 50-year-old watch on my wrist I had bought months ago that was deemed by its former owner and watch specialist as absolutely unable to work. And there it was, unaided by repair, good as new. It ticked for 12 days. If that is the sign from beyond, there is no such thing. Magically working watch doesn't solve the world's problems, no. But it really is quite something. If a dead watch can come back to life, and so can I. I've got to keep ticking along. So here I am, as good as I've ever been. And folks, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Let the book drop.
Yeah, usually a mic drop, but I don't want to wreck it. Shut up. I'll never show you again. Yeah, thanks guys, that was great. Yeah, sorry, like jokes don't really work when you don't have like 10 plus, you know. But I appreciate this coming, and who knows, maybe the shit wasn't funny anyway, but
No, it's funny. Just like sometimes I'm more like just quietly paying attention.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, and I was paying attention. Like, I think they listened.
Yeah, you didn't, I didn't read it.